Derivatives trading involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results.
So stressful when the world's on fire. Good God. I can't look at this, guys. Like, my strategy is you buy it and you hope that you got a good spot. Yeah, but we all think you're crazy. You don't fight this. No way. The markets are freaking out and you don't think that anything is wrong? Come back tomorrow and I'll lose it all. Should be fun.
Good morning, everybody. What is wrong with my my camera? No. Wait, let's try this. Activate. Ah, that's weird. It didn't work. Whatever. Weird. We're fine. Let's go to the charts. Well, oil, not quite what I was expecting. So oil came down quite a bit yesterday. The headlines I've been reading overnight has been that Iran is like striking energy infrastructure and things like that. So I would expect that to push prices up. It did move up, but not to new highs. And they're already retracing it and coming back down. So that's maybe the strikes on energy infrastructure not as big of a deal as I thought. Let's check some of the others. Oh, the treasuries are really recovering. That's really looking positive there. S&P 500 erasing its losses on the overnight session. Gold and silver kind of holding that slight leg lower. Kappa. Yeah, I'm not sure if I can make anything out of copper. I don't know. Double bottom. Yeah. Okay. The 6J maybe turning around. Maybe turning around. I have to keep a close eye on that one today. And Bitcoin. Bitcoin pushing 76K. So this is interesting. I actually kind of see some things. I actually kind of see some things suggesting that we could get some momentum on the upside if we get a little bit further. So, on the other hand, all of the CTA models in the S&P 500 suggest selling over the next week. So I think either way that's good for us in treasuries. So I think you got some things to, you know, the wind in your sails if you want to go long in the treasuries, with the big risk that at any moment some new headline about escalation in the Middle East completely destroys your trade. So tepid longs, I think, today. Let's come in here and just reset our levels. Looks like at that I need to change that. There we go. Okay, so the upside is 0.5, 02-ish. Good new video. So order flow trading is an edge? Question mark. Well, I think that order flow trading is an essential tool for a day trader. I don't want to say that if you study order flow and you get really good at it, that you can make money from just that alone, right? It's really the combination of all of the things that you need. It's the combination of all of the things that you need. That's the second mistake. I think the first mistake that retail traders make is focusing entirely on the technical picture and ignoring the fundamentals, when there's really more opportunity available to retail traders in the fundamentals. And I don't even like the word fundamentals, but informational side, right? These things that you don't just see in the price chart. No, because there's lots of things that you could consider technical, like positioning, CTA models, all that sort of thing, right? But it's not, you don't necessarily see them in the chart. And then the second mistake that we make is thinking that you're just going to do one thing and that's going to be like the silver bullet and you can make money from it. Now, if you're going to make money, it's really going to be taking every tiny little bit of edge that you can. So, but I tried really hard on that video. I kind of was kicking myself because I was like, oh, I forgot to say something at the end, but I did put it in the chat. And I think in combination with the moon cycle. Oh man, dude. So I have to come in here and look. Did we get good? How's our analytics on the video look? Probably about normal. The children are awake and making loud music to keep themselves awake, I think. Let's see here. Oh, I got about on average. Maybe a little bit under by the end of 24 hours. If you haven't seen it, make sure you go check out the new video. Even though I think it's stuff that most of you guys that are here every day have seen. But if you go and you watch the video and you watch it all the way through. Oh my gosh, it doesn't show my what the heck? That's interesting. Wait, if I put it over here, does it different? There we go. Yeah. I'm kind of secretly hoping, not secretly hoping, I'm openly hoping that the big Iron video takedown of TJR will maybe boost our video. Like maybe it'll get recommended in the suggested videos, you know? I can hope, right? Probably not. I got to think though now about like what the next videos I want to make are. Well, I think what I should be doing is I should be making videos tackling certain individual order flow myths, I guess you could say. At least that's the best content I can think of over here on this side, because I don't know what's the thing that's gonna like crack the algorithm open for me. Growth comes in phases, and I think that it's just it's really curious to me. Last year I made more videos. I mean, I made a lot more videos last year. Went through a period, but I made a lot of videos last year. And then kind of went quiet. And revenue from the channel went down. It was half as much as the year before. So, I don't know. Maybe though that is just like half of the year only being able to stream for 90 minutes, you know? That could... Okay, so I'm getting headline that there's explosions heard in Iran's capital. Anyways... But I also think that the next video that I'm going to make is going to be to start a new channel, because one of the issues we've got that bothers me is that a lot of the more successful videos that we've had have been more about the hardware, the computer hardware. So I want to split that off into a channel that's specifically for business focused computer hardware. At the moment, though, the treasury is really jumping up here. So let me think for a second here. Ah, yes. Okay, so here's the thing. The headline I get, or, you know, like everything that I've kind of been reading overnight, okay, well, it looks like Zero Hedge has already kind of changed their headline. Israel claims big decapitation strike. Larijani and Baij chief. Israel making another big decapitation strike, claiming it has taken out Iran's top security, believed to effectively be running the country in the war. Ari Larijani. Israel further announced Tuesday the longtime head of the Basij militia was also killed. If true, it would mark one of the most significant blows to Tehran's leadership since the war began, but in classic fog of war fashion, Tehran is pushing back against Israeli statements. Tehran has presented a handwritten message attributed to him, although not exactly what passes for proof of life. Note was released at funeral ceremonies for Iranian soldiers killed in the recent U.S. strike, urges citizens to show support for the national martyrs, but in the end does little to clarify whether Larijani is alive or dead. No peace yet. Iran Hormuz isn't officially shut, but it controls who gets through. Oil sites. Drone attack forced a shutdown of a gas field in Abu Dhabi while a tanker was reportedly hit by an unknown projectile near a UAE oil port, only adding more pressure. Okay, so the hits are maybe not as dramatic as I thought. So, I think, though, that Iran is getting really close to kind of like the point of no return. And when I say the point of no return, what I really mean is the point at which it becomes basically guaranteed that the current regime in Iran will be replaced. Because the nations of the world are not going to allow a country to exist that can effectively shut down the entire world economy on a whim. They're not gonna allow it. So right now, I'm still kind of seeing European nations being like, we're not going to support any. Yeah, we won't support any military effort to unblock the strait. I'm actually really surprised that they're not going in with that. But that's okay. The United States and Israel, maybe they will do it on their own. But I would say that maybe they haven't quite gone that far. I think that you get large enough energy infrastructure strikes, then we're definitely in that spot, right? And I thought that the strikes that they did were that, but kind of thinking on it and looking at the market's reaction and so forth, maybe they haven't quite been that extreme. It does kind of seem to me, though, I mean, just based on what's happened in the past day, that the chances of the United States coming in and taking over Karg Island are really, really high now. So we're going to have to stay frosty, right? And the treasuries did pull back from that recent long. I have to say that the order flows in the 10-year treasury today are quite zigzaggy. So that, I think, suggests caution. Okay, 2 questions. First of all, did you hear the rumor that the new Ayatollah is gay and now in Moscow? Well, I hadn't heard that he was in Moscow, but I did hear the whole thing about that there was the CIA gave the president a report and their assessment was that he was probably gay. So I don't think that the assessment was that he was gay, but just that from looking at the things that he's done and all of that, they think that he's gay. And the president laughed at that. That was the story. The thing that I find curious about it is that he was basically a shoo-in for who they pick. And the U.S. intelligence report on the guy was that he wasn't very good. Like that his father had real concerns that he wasn't up to the task. So they basically installed a Nepo baby. But then there's the whole thing that like maybe he was hitting strikes. He doesn't even know that a war is going on yet. Like that's pretty wild. I mean, at the end of the day, the Ayatollahs, or how do you say that? Ayatollahs are not in charge anymore. The IRGC is. The IRGC is in charge of the country. And they've basically been given orders, to like decentralized orders. When this happens, here's what you do. And they're following through on those. And there has been escalations, but small escalations. Still kind of looks to me like Iran is not going to back down, and so the United States probably will take Karg Island, and then eventually I think you will see troops in Iran. But maybe it takes more pain to the global economy for European nations to be like, okay, yeah, we do need to do something about this. Only gets so bad before they... What is the advantages of trading Magnificent 7 stocks versus ES futures? Honestly, for retail traders, I'm not sure what there are. So the thing is, we have to think back onto where are some advantages that we can gain, right? And because the market is very statistically efficient and not very informationally efficient, that means that there's going to be more opportunities available to retail traders on the informational side of the market. Knowing things that other people don't know, being able to accurately predict how certain situations are going to resolve themselves and things like that. Okay. So, stocks kind of present an interesting opportunity from that perspective. Because there's all sorts of things that you can know about a company that other people don't know. So I work, and I'm not gonna say who I work for. I guess you could go on LinkedIn and figure it out. But that the company that I work for has been hit by the SaaS apocalypse really, really hard. But I view the company as a pretty major AI enabler. So I think, well, there's lots of other issues with the stock. They're maybe trying to sell it. Who knows where that goes, if they even do that. They're only like recently revenue positive. The growth isn't super big. Okay, so like there's reasons why it's not like top performing stock per se, right? But I feel this stock is way too low, and from seeing on the inside, I can kind of see that, yeah, like the current there's a good chance for it to at least double, right? And if you really follow a company, even if you don't work for a company, you can talk to people that do work for the company. Like there are lots and lots of opportunities for you as a retail trader to gain an informational edge in an individual stock. But those are not going to be everyday things. You know? Like those you're not going to, like if you follow Amazon, there's not necessarily a piece of information that helps you predict which way Amazon is going to go that day every day, right? Now, if you're trading all of the Magnificent 7, Maybe. It depends on what the margins are for them. Right? Probably at least the start here. I don't think there's going to be a ton of retail traders trading them. Maybe in funded trader programs. We'll see. Right? Because that's one of the big disadvantages to futures right now is that for a small time retail trader, it really makes more sense to focus on a specific type of asset and get really good at that one. But it's probably better for you overall if you have a bunch of instruments that you can trade and you can go to the one where you have the advantage that day, right? And that's kind of an advantage in stocks. So they're coming out with Magnificent 7 futures. That's going to be interesting. But you know what? I think the bigger thing still going on is that they're going to change the pattern day trader rule to an amount that most retail traders will be able to meet. So being able to trade, small stocks with a small account is going to be day trading. Is going to be a lot more practical. And there are some advantages to trading stocks over futures. And, a lot of the major reasons why you trade futures is because you can't really practically day trade stocks. I kind of see us in the future. I don't know. I don't really feel like I really want to put too much of my stock capital at risk. In fact, I'm kind of thinking like maybe I should sell some of the stock to pay taxes. But I do think that we will end up taking more small plays in individual stocks. But the kind of opportunities that are available to us are really more macro. So like if I got, like the when the war in Iran ends, I think the new master of the market is going to be the people that are able to catch the beginning of that and hold on. Because there's going to be a moment where you really see that was where it ended, but then the market always fights it. There's always people that are like super invested on the other side of the trade and can't just instantly get out, and they come out with all of their propaganda, and you get all sorts of wild swings, and it becomes, especially when you're just watching the price movement, becomes very, very difficult to ascertain what's going on. The best example of this and where I really kind of learned this lesson was during Trump's first term when the trade war with China ended. And they made an announcement that they had made a deal, and the markets rose on that, and I made tons of money. And then it came all the way back. And if I had been able to hold on to that, that would have been the best trade I'd ever made. But I couldn't hold on to it because it came all the way back. Because there was people out there saying, nah, this must be fake news. We don't believe it, etc., etc., etc. And the next day, like it was confirmed, the market moved on from there. But in that short term, there was a ton of volatility. People fight it, right? You'll see that with Iran. There will be a moment where it becomes clear that like Iran is going to be defeated and this is the end of it. But then there will still be fight. Probably market might fight it for a week or two, because the victory might not be as clear over there in Iran, right? But whoever catches that, those are the kinds of plays that I think as a retail trader make more sense. The really big macro plays that have such an impact on the market. You're there, you're seeing it like when you're one of the first people to know, but you're trading something that's going to drive the market for the next month, right? Those are, I think, the best opportunities for a retail trader. Now, if you're doing a prop firm account, then I don't know. But I honestly do wonder now at this point, I'm going to bet you at some point there is going to be another large prop firm is going to go under. Like there's going to be a large enough prop firm go under that like People are really, really going to be pissed. Eventually, Congress is going to come in and regulate this thing. And when they do, it might not be a good deal anymore. It might not be very practical for these prop firms to run their businesses anymore. They may have to increase prices on everybody. And I think that what will ultimately happen is prop firms will become less popular and people will turn more to trading individual stocks. And as a result of that, you will probably see more quote-unquote profitable traders. They probably won't be making as much money as if they just bought and hold. But there will be people that will be making money and think that they're doing well. And they'll be all over the place sharing their slop, misleading people. It'll only get harder to really, for a beginner to really find like the path that's going to help them, right? That's where see that going. Okay, anyways, going back, and Stefa, what do you think about options flow? That's that new platform, right? I have heard nothing but negative things about it, to be honest with you. It's another platform that they've kind of done a facelift on it. And I have not heard of, I've seen people there. Let me back up. There was somebody posted like a Rust-based trading platform, and the amount of code that they have written in since January is really quite astounding to me. Even if they're doing it with AI, which they claim that they're not. And they got something that seems to work. It kind of clued me in on, oh, okay, the Rhythmic API has opened up. It has. There's a form you can go and fill out, and now you can get the documentation to connect to Rhythmic. And the Rhythmic API is basically a WebSocket. So that makes it a lot easier for us to make our own platform, or for you to make a robot. Yeah, that kind of clued me into that. But it seems to me that the reason why he made that platform was because this new option or order flow platform everybody's been talking about was too expensive. So we wanted to make a free one. I think that's really kind of funny. Because, like, what is in that platform that they like? I've not seen anybody say, oh, here's, like, the killer feature. Seems to me like it doesn't do anything that any of the other platforms don't already do. But when I go online, everybody trashes it. They say it's a terrible platform. It's not worth. But I think the main reason they trash it is because it's more expensive. They're calling. Is that options flow, or maybe we're talking about something? Maybe I'm talking about something different. Maybe I'm not familiar with options flow. Andre, you nailed the last video. Oh, thank you. I really tried a different approach with that video. And I'm honestly, I'm not even sure what it was. Oh, no, I do remember what it was. In that video, I really tried to take more of an approach of like, listen, I know what your problem is because I've been through that and I've watched hundreds of people go through that. And most of your influencers out there never see it. Basically, there are some people, they have some early success or they're on social media, allows them to kind of never have to learn the real lesson. That the market is more statistically efficient than it is informationally efficient. And that the basis of a lot of our beliefs about the market are just completely wrong. That emergent properties of the market are contrary to what we think philosophically the market is supposed to be, right? So these guys, they never figured that out. And so if you're a newbie online, you're watching all these videos, all you're going to get is technical analysis slop and people telling you that the reason it's not working for you is your psychology instead of the real reason, right? And us, on the other hand, well, I've been helped by having a platform, by having a social media and all of that. I mean, I don't think I'd be able to continue if it wasn't for you guys. Just like the emotional toll, probably would have given up by now. And well, I learn a lot. You guys bring things to me. You bring information to me. That's a large part of my edge, is the YouTube channel, right? But we never got big enough that it was like that was the huge thing. It's always been a tough struggle. And on top of that, we're doing treasuries, and treasuries are really, really hard too, because they're just extremely, extremely efficient, right? So, and then I kind of had the advantage of working at a bank and talking to professional traders, and them kind of pointing me in the right direction and where the research was, or at least kind of laying the groundwork for the kind of what kind of research I was looking for that would really teach me. And then later I was able to get enough context to really understand what they were talking about, right? So I took that, like, I know what you're feeling sort of approach, which I think is one that in the past I've maybe avoided. Just because I feel like, you know, this everybody says is like, oh, I was unprofitable once, but now I'm profitable. I'm going to help you be profitable. And that's not what we're saying, right? Well, we are saying, like, here's the key thing about the market that you're all missing, that until you figure this out, you just don't even stand a chance. You're not even playing the game. It's like you're going to play basketball at the park, right? And they're like, yeah, sure, you can play basketball, but then nobody ever passes you the ball. You never make any plays. Like, are you really actually playing basketball? Like, you're playing that, like you're running back and forth, but are you actually playing basketball? That's the way that most retail traders are now. So that they don't understand the game. They're not, so much so that they're playing the game, but really they're not playing the game, right? So it's happening. So I hope that really helps that video. It's too early to tell. Right now, when we look at the video analytics, it looks like for most of the time it was kind of trailing on the lower end of it, and maybe now it's a little bit underneath. That's probably because it's just been so long since we posted a video, right? So I don't think that it's putting out as much reach as we would normally like. Impression click-through rate, though, 5% isn't bad. You would want it to be more like 10 to 15%. So maybe I just need a better thumbnail. Maybe I need a better thumbnail. Ooh, you know, that reminds me. We had these other videos that we did. That we did some tests on. A/B test completed. Let's see here. Where do I get the... Oh, right here. Let's say A/B testing. Oh, it still says not enough impressions to declare a winner. Lame. Where was the other one? Man, and there really was a lot of videos. We really made a lot of videos. All right, here. A/B test report not enough to declare a winner. Huh. Let's see here. If I come into one of these videos and look at reach, maybe. Yeah, it's just random. So let's go back here. That just kind of like, I went down that rabbit hole and I'm kind of like, I can't make any conclusions about anything. But I tried really hard with that video. So the stuff that I've kind of got planned after this is kind of more just back to the original. Yeah. Oh, well, here's some order flow things that I'm hearing that, you know, here's the problems with them. That sort of a thing. And making a new channel for the hardware thing. Make a review of the chair. I think the thing that I really need to do is make a review of the chair. And then sell the chair. Get a new chair. Okay. Andre, I've started to see more and more quant videos showing on YouTube with actual good information, and they get traction slowly. We might get in time to a healthy community overall. Okay, so what I am seeing is, yes, that quantitative trading is starting to catch a following on YouTube. Well, on TikTok. I haven't necessarily seen it on YouTube. I've seen some creators in the past that were trying to do quant trading stuff, and I wasn't really very impressed with what they were showing. There was some critical issues in the back testing methods that they were using. Now, there's this I want to call him a new guy, but I kind of don't feel like he's new anymore. But Thomas, or Delta Trend Trading, who got popular on TikTok. I think he's made some videos. I don't know if how well those have done. So let's see if we can find him on YouTube. I really like him. He knows what he's talking about. And he's done back testing that is way more thorough, that is way more like understanding. I don't think that he has as much data as you probably need, but he's using other statistical methods to determine if it's statistically significant or not, and showing that all these strategies like don't really work. And he's getting attention for them, because I made videos that were like, here, I back tested it and here's the results, and nobody cared, right? But he's getting attention for it. People care. So I like that. I like him. So we're going down the algorithmic trading route now. Does that help us? I don't actually think it does. Because number one, I'm a very experienced programmer. I can write just about anything. I am not as well educated on the statistical stuff as I wish I was. I really wish if I would go back and redo my life, I would have gone into school instead of thinking I'm going to be computer science major. I would have said, oh, no, wait, I'm going to learn all that on my own. I am going to go into statistics and try and work at a quant firm. And I totally would have made it, I think. Just knowing where I have been successful in my life and all of those sorts of things, and especially what things were at the time, because it wasn't like everybody was trying to become a quant trader back then, right? Could have done it. So, and then number two, when you're talking about creators, you know, the creators that you're likely to see rise to the top are going to be kids. They're going to be people with more free time. And unfortunately, I do not have enough free time to be competitive in an arena like that, right? If all of the sudden the big thing was, oh, informational inefficiency, understanding what's going on in the market and being able, okay, then we would be top. Or treasuries, then we would be the top, right? Because we already have the knowledge and information and the whole community set up, right? And then maybe that would enable us to get more free time to spend more time making content. But when it's something that I'm kind of like, I'm already a little bit behind in, you know? Yeah, you could learn a high statistics in a year or two, probably. If I had the time, which, and you know, I'm spending it on other things. I want to, when I have the free time, I want to make more videos. I want to work on my trading platform, and I want to do calligraphy. So that's kind of what I'm focused on right now. And so I'm, you know, to some extent, like I said, that I really like Thomas. The reason I really like Thomas is because he was successful in an area that I have struggled to make an impact. And I've always felt like, you know, things would be better if retail traders kind of understood the backtesting things, right? If they can actually come in and look at these strategies and backtest them in a systematic way, they understand the statistics to know like how much data they need and whether the results that they're getting are actually significant. That they wouldn't fall for all this nonsense. And Thomas is the solution in my mind. Maybe I don't regret saying that. Like maybe he's gonna have a fall from grace at some point. But I think he's a good kid. So I don't have to worry about that side anymore, right? It's kind of like, oh yeah, some people are doing the statistical side of the market and like the algorithmic side of the market. I don't need to worry about making content about that, and I can focus on the things that I think I'm good at, right? It's to some extent it's a relief. On the other hand, I've kind of come to the conclusion, and I think this is something I think most of you guys will understand at this point, but maybe people outside of the community might think this is a little bit controversial. But people are going to do what they're going to do. I think that there was a time when I had this conception that if we make enough good content, that it will change people's behavior, and they won't blow so much money trying to day trade when they don't stand a chance. And what I've discovered is that people kind of just do the thing that is in the nature of who they are. CEOs do CEO things. Poor people do poor people things. And there are some exceptions where people will move out of that bucket that they've been placed in and ascend to a higher plane or whatever. But losing traders are going to lose money. That's just the way that it is. And there's absolutely nothing that I can do or say that's ever going to change things for those people. I can give them all of the best information and they just scoff at it. They really do. They just scoff at it. And even if you get a situation where you are becoming very popular, like this YouTube channel does become popular, it could still happen at some point. I do feel like if we ever become popular, there will be, to some level, some of the things that makes this place special will be lost, but you'll gain other things that are worthwhile too. So who knows? But if we got popular, then the result would just be everybody would know that thing, and then it wouldn't really be as much of an advantage anymore. Right? So you ultimately, these people that are just behind the curve aren't able to really think for themselves and be clever and figure things out on their own and stuff like, because, you know, this is really like, you get this base and then I'm enabling you to go out and find the edge, right? I'm not giving you a strategy. I'm just kind of telling you the key base things that you need to know so that you stand a chance at being able to find a strategy that could make you profitable, right? But there are some people that are just not cut out for it, and they're always going to lose. And it's a good thing that these people exist. The system, I mean, it's a vampire, but the system relies on these people existing. If there aren't noise traders, the market doesn't work. And it's to our advantage that there being a lot of retail traders that have no effing clue what's going on. So I've kind of given up on the, you know, I'm going to save these people, and have learned to accept that we benefit from their failure. You know? Oh yeah, we never rolled the ES. At least I rolled my charts, but not the over here. So we should definitely do that. What is it? That's gonna be M. Don't remember what well, I was just responding. The whole thing that started this was me responding to your comment that I started to see more and more quant videos. Okay, so what else did you say here? I use ChatGPT to make a backtesting website that loads data from my computer and runs locally so I can visualize my strategies better for the trading bot, and it works amazing. Oh, that's good. Yeah. I think that if you got a trading bot and you want visualizations, that having it run a little website is absolutely the way to go. Yeah. Because ChatGPT can make a small local website like that really, really well. Yeah. How about offline trading journal instead of trading platform? Much less competition. You make it 100% private journal. I don't know about that. I know of many journaling platforms and/or statistics platforms. The thing is when it comes to a trading platform, there are things that I want in a trading platform that don't exist. I really do think on multiple levels that I can make a trading platform that is heads and shoulders above any other trading platform out there. And I have the experience. I've made a lot of you know, indicators and things like that. It's rare to have somebody that understands the trading, and I really mean the trading, not just like the quant stuff, but like the trading, reading the news, understanding where the market's going, all that sort of thing, and the computer side of it. It is especially outside of the big firms. So I am unique, and I think that does give me a unique opportunity to create a platform. And we're kind of close to having something that I think we could actually use. I'm thinking about if I should just pull out and go quiet and start typing away. But we've been having good conversations so far. And it is a day where we get to work from home, so we'll be here until 9 o'clock. That will help. And if they would learn that you look at a process that is non-stationary and is volatility sensitive, and they would do much better. I don't remember exactly what you were mentioning when I started to come. A lot of the like naive approaches to the statistics fail to understand that the market's not a stationary process, yeah, and that the things that they're doing require a stationary process. It's true. It's true. Anyways, I guess the thing that I was kind of getting at was like, will we get a healthy community overall? Probably not. Like, you seen this whole iMan thing? I have never seen a situation where the trading community was so interested in the downfall of one particular guru. Like, even with the ICT thing, I do kind of think that people are over ICT. But when he was outed, I don't think that it was as much of an event as this one for TJR is. But I'm just sitting here like, what? TJR is a fraud? I'm so shocked. All of his setups, they just made so much sense. I can't believe that they don't actually work. Come on, we've been doing this for what, 8 years? Like, and a lot of you guys that are here in the chat, you've been here for multiple years. How many gurus have we seen come and go? Like, there's new guy every month. The one that I remember the most, was a guy came in. They were trying to push their own thing, and I picked up on that. That's what they were doing immediately. But he had posted like a meetup. I think that they were using Meetup, or to show his own trading and start his own room and start his own thing. And that day, he basically was like, "Oh no, you're taking the wrong trade," and he had a trade going the opposite way. And in his chat room, he was losing on it, and he said, "No, it's fine," and he like doubled down, and then that ended up being like the one massive trend day of the year, and he got blown out. And it was like, it's as soon as he had gotten set up, made a clown out of himself, everybody left. And that was, it was trying to poach viewers is what he was doing. And we see this every month. Every month there's some new spammer in the Discord or whatever. This TJR is the first time where it's like everybody knows this guy and are like interested to see that everybody that he's like a confirmed fraud. That's kind of a little odd. But what does that say to me? It's just the nature of it. You're never gonna get the trading community will always be very vulnerable to fake gurus and charlatans because of the transitive nature of the community. Most people bomb out right away. And so you're talking about a situation where 90% of the community and 90% of the activity that you've got going on out there don't really know what they're talking about. So the community will always have trouble. And we will always just be this kind of little island that has a completely different view on the markets from everybody else. And I really don't think that the rest of the community is ever going to catch up. Really don't. And if they did, if they got to a point that was like, oh, well, okay, based on what we understand about the order flow and everything, markets are more statistically efficient than they are informationally efficient. We'll already be ahead on here's kind of the next major advantage that we have that's well ahead of them. Because it's always been like the trading firms are about 10 years ahead of the researchers. And then the researchers are like 20 years ahead of retail traders. So the stuff that we're talking about, well, some of it came out in 2000. So you might not see people really, the retail trading community really figure it out until 2040. You know what I mean? Yeah. Well, let's watch the open here. Keep our ears open. But it sounds like that you guys had your say on that subject. So maybe we will pull out and see if I can get a WebSocket going. Oh, actually, we don't want to get a WebSocket going. We want to fix our email thing. Let's see here. Do I have? No, I don't have a command line window open. So open that up. And put it over here for now. Oh yeah, we should also release the new version of the indicators. Where did I put this thing? Well, I have to go find it. I really thought that I had put yeah. So what do we need this to do? We need to user inputs email, sends them an email with download link. Sends them an email with personalized download link so that you can't just give it to somebody else. Or not that you can't just give it to somebody else, but you can't just visit that URL with the download and get it. E-mini is really running here, isn't it? Okay. Let's see here what's vital. Why some people trade ES in London session until the US Open? That's a good question. So there seems to be a tendency for the S&P 500 to kind of trend from the beginning of the London session until the US Open. I don't know if it's the case anymore because I haven't seen anything in it in a long time, but they were showing that like the majority of the gains on the S&P 500 happen in the overnight session and not during the regular session. That during the regular session, liquidity comes in and everything just kind of becomes a mess and you don't get as strong of trends. And so what people were doing was getting in at the beginning of the London session and you catch a good trend. And my buddy, who is not with us anymore, but John Bottomley, he did that and he was having a lot of success with it before he died. just heard that the White House received an offer for DHS funding. That would be a good thing. Pod can now show interactive visuals. That's cool. No, I don't think it includes passing the save act. Oh my. Well, it's doing that. I came over to Reddit to browse around. Somebody says, I left my pen on my desk after work and they came in to see that somebody had bent the nib. Who would do that? This is an outrage. My boss's kid decided to do some drawing. Oh. Okay, it was a kid. I'm nice. Maybe it's better. Hope boss is buying. What was it? Well, it depends on what kind of a pen it was. It's not a gold nib. Submit an expense report. Well, I would never leave something like that on my desk. Someday, one of my kids is going to get to my fountain pen and get it everywhere, though. It's going to happen, I'm sure. I'm super careful about it. Okay, so here's a thread on Reddit. Order flow won't save you. Here's why most of you are still losing with it. Yada, yada, yada. Okay, so then they're going and it has bold points. So what does that mean? This is AI. This is AI. Is it a real person? Okay, it's a 5-year account, so it may be a real person, but they wrote this with AI. The alpha decay problem nobody talks about. It's AI. Order flow is only part of a complete trading strategy. Fabio. Oh, okay. Nerd culture becoming mainstream is the worst thing to happen to entertainment. Yes, it is. Yet now you have to go into increasingly more nerdy things to get away from the horde. Actually, you know what? It isn't like becoming mainstream is the problem. It's the internet horde is the problem. Like the funny thing about it is that it basically pushes me into more and more either obscure or masculinized media, right? Like if I'm playing a game, like it better have super hot chicks in it. Like just the most absolutely most beautiful and immodestly dressed female characters possible. Like my wife needs to absolutely hate it and be uncomfortable with me playing it. Not because I want to make her uncomfortable, but because I know that the woke people will avoid that game. Right? Then I know that I'm safe. It's got to be something that like only guys would like. I don't know. At the same time, like I feel like that Warhammer was kind of like that, and Warhammer is getting destroyed too. Just makes no sense, says Final. Yeah, it does. It doesn't make any sense, does it? Yeah. Well, I put Claude to work on this thing, and it says taking longer than usual. I don't think that he's having success. Oh, maybe I don't have an account. $2,000 subscribers. To the email list, that is. What? They want to do $39 monthly. Oh, they'll say that you can do a free one. Then the basic one is $35 a month. $50 a month. Doesn't save me anything. Wow, 50-degree drop overnight, including heavy wind chill. That's awful. It sounds to me like I can do this without having out paying for it. Let's see. 3 to 4. In bed with this one line of JavaScript. Cool. Isn't this cool? We get to hang out for another hour. Treasury is still trading a tight range, though. Yeah, sure, we'll upgrade to the minute CP. That's fine. Oops, probably whole screen went black there, huh? Works. Ooh, can it do the download incentive natively? Grow your list. Create a free download incentive, also known as a freebie or lead magnet. This refers to any free incentive you give your audience in exchange for joining your mailing list. This can be an ebook, worksheet, template, or anything your subscribers can instantly download. For inspiration and demos on how to create your free download incentive, check out the resources below. Where did I put it? Oh, here it is right here. AI will be disruptive to wealth management. Yeah, probably. I tell you what, like investment advisors is something that I think could be automated by or replaced by AI really well. Just as okay. So now we need to test it. One of you guys want to test it? Even if you're already on the email list, because I haven't imported the old email list. Investment advisors will be replaced by AI, whether it works well or not. When everyone asks AI instead of paying those people money, that might be the case. I mean, I feel like that there are ultra high net wealth individuals that don't have the time to sit down and go through all of that and do all of the things. So I think that like the, you know, the wealth manager types that are out there where it's like the full service thing will still work. But just the kind of person that like they have a Series 65 license and they give you a PDF, yeah. There's not going to be many of them anymore. Unless the AIs, unless the companies start to doing things like wasn't it Massachusetts or New York or somebody like that basically made it illegal to use AI to make things like legal documents? Okay, so what I need is, oh my gosh, I have to do it from over here. I need somebody to go to that URL, put your email in, and then it will send you a confirmation email. And then when you click on the link in the confirmation email to confirm your subscription, then it should give you a PDF. Give you a download. I was debating there between saying download or PDF. But if that works, then it's easier than we thought. I think that actually I can use this service for free. I can do all that and maybe it will, but I don't know if it will let me do like the email download, for instance. For your recommendations. Seems like it should be okay. But I guess we'll find out. Did it? Open the link, put email, no email received, check all email and spam. Well, maybe it's slow. I don't know. Actually, maybe I can try it myself. Maybe I'm... Subscribe. Now check your email. Probably just slow. Well, let's give it like 30 minutes. Let's see. Okay, over here, Claude couldn't do it. He's too burdened. Well, I don't even need that anymore anyways. So the next thing is now that I know that it's a website. Oh, Tokai.io has one. Sample sketch. talked to Gemini about website mail testing, and it recommended bug AI to help find the bugs in it. So I looked up bug.ai, and it's meant for finding bugs. That's interesting. Literally just test bug finder AI. Finding bugs in plants. That's hilarious, dude. I've been using Claude, and a couple of weeks ago, I was really impressed with what Claude did. And it made some stuff for me that just worked perfectly. And in the past week, I have been so frustrated with it. It makes some of the dumbest mistakes, and I've basically had to correct it at every step of the way. And I kind of wonder if it's really actually making me faster. Like, the only thing that it's really doing is like looking up APIs and stuff for me. So maybe that part is faster. But other than that, I'm literally telling it like everything to do. And I'm kind of wondering if like maybe they like made Sonnet more stupid or something so that people will use Opus 4.6, because why is it so dumb? I don't get it. Oh, that's interesting. Have you tried Grok? I've never asked Grok to code, but Grok will give me more interesting responses sometimes. It's kind of interesting to ask them a question and like send them all the same thing and see which way they kind of lean on things. But I think that it mostly just shows the difference in how they've been trained. Oh, I can use Grok because I've got a Twitter subscription. Okay, so this is interesting because I'm asking it about what frameworks I should use for the WebSocket. And it recommended Tokyo Tungstenite. But so I went and I looked at this other guy's thing. He was using Tokyo Tungstenite. But then it gave some other things. And there are more recent things. It's giving me a recommendation on which one to use that I'm not fully down with. Because if Toke.io has made a new library for WebSockets, that must mean that there's something wrong with tungstenite, or that they're for different purposes. Wow, I'm searching for WebSocket crates and I found 84. Make sure this Toke.io WebSockets actually exists. Looks like it's made by somebody different. Says it has DLS support. So the stuff that ChatGPT told me is definitely out of date, because this Toke.io WebSockets trait does have default TLS built into it. And they're kind of begging for higher there in the treasures. I don't know if they're gonna go though. It still seems quiet. I asked Chart Fanatics to invite Seth on a podcast. I don't know who that is, but if people want to interview me, I probably will do it. Probably will do it. Here's a more recent thread. One of the issues you get when you're searching for Rust stuff is you're going to run into a lot of users that have deleted their comments, moved off of Reddit, and moved to these decentralized platforms like Mastodon and stuff. Okay, so I really need like only in the past year. How about organizing my own trading competition and coding all of the infrastructure? Okay, I probably could do that, but that would be a lot of work, and would I really provide a lot of benefit? Like, what's wrong with the trading competitions done by the CME, for instance? But I kind of no. This one is it seems like, because it says Tokayo in front of it, that it was made by Tokayo. But I don't actually think that that's the case. Let's go to trades.io. Just search for sockets. Sort by all-time downloads. Tungstenite. So there's Tungstenite, and then there's Tokayo Tungstenite. I see. So who are making these? SnapView and SnapView. Warp. Okay, that's probably fine. Oh, let's check the email. Hmm. Yeah, Abel says that he didn't get a new one. Yeah, same for me. I didn't get a new one. I didn't get an email. So I think that it's not working. says it's had one visitor. But maybe we just gotta wait. Oh, if we get back tomorrow and it's not there, then maybe we panic, right? Why isn't my incentive email sending? Our system usually sends incentive emails quickly. However, emails can sometimes take several minutes. Is your kit account approved? If it's not approved, you'll see this yellow thing at the top of the page. I don't see that. It's in the spam or promotions folder. No, because I'm looking at all email. Is the incentive email enabled? Yes. Oh. Let's see here. It says check, you can change what it's sent from. Settings, incentive, edit email contents, from address, and it is trying to send it from my Gmail. You can add a custom domain. I guess Thune has rejected the Democrats' funding offer. Okay. So now I got a landing page. Settings, incentive, edit email contents, change it to Seth@speculatorseth.com. I don't know if that'll change it. About those guys. It's people that keep emailing me about, oh, we're a multi-account browser thing. And I'm like, that sounds like a scam. I've just been ignoring them. Doesn't have anything to do with our channel content. I ignore it. Okay, well, anyways. It would be cool for Seth to wear a tie on the photos. Oh, okay. I have been moving towards more professional shirts when I'm on the stream. I only wearing the, and I'm moving away from polos too. I've never really liked polos. I'm kind of becoming partial to button-down casual shirts, especially linen shirts. Oh, I love a linen shirt. I would be wearing a linen shirt today if it was ironed. Legit serious trader. Well, but I don't know if wearing a tie makes you look like a serious trader. I tell you what, it's been an interesting one in the treasuries today. There has been an overall trend for the session, but like we could have only gotten like 4 ticks out of it. What? Your presentation does matter, yes, but I'm not sure if the class signaling of having a tie makes people think that you're a more serious trader. Especially when we're talking about retail traders, right? Lambo, that's a different thing. If I had a Lambo and now everything that I did was from within my Lambo, or better yet, a Ferrari, then yeah, then people sure lots of people would subscribe just because of that. Yeah. So I'm at work. So the thing is when I started my job last year, they had the rule that if you weren't wearing their company tagged clothing, that you had to wear a button-down shirt. And I think the reasoning being that, like, they're constantly having clients, and which they were doing school stuff. They'd have clients come in and tour the facility and stuff, and so they wanted everybody to look professional. I think that it was a, like, you guys just don't understand where the modern workplace has gone, right? So anyways, I wasn't gonna buy their shirts. So I got a bunch of nice button-down shirts, and you see me wearing them recently and in videos. I got one in particular that is an Egyptian cotton. I wish I had gotten all of them in Egyptian cotton, because that is just the best shirt. It is just more comfortable than the other shirts and everything. Then I started my new job, which is like a full-on tech job. And I would say that most people there kind of dress what I would call smart casual. But basically what I have are those nice button-down shirts that I got. Right? So every day, literally every day, I will see a reaction to me. Like I'd be in the elevator, they come and they enter the elevator and see me there, and I can just it's like, oh, it's so weird because these are sorts of things that I wouldn't notice before, but these days I can notice. I'm pretty there in terms of like paying attention and stuff. There's just always a reaction like, oh, there's somebody serious is here. I better be. In fact, there have been some that are like, oh, I better be careful about how I hold myself because he might be here to riff me or something. Like, I seriously get those kinds of like body language from people, which I don't think is good because I'm not management, and you want people to see you as you're part of them, So put space, I think, a little bit. So I'm working to tone it down. But I got to find a balance between toning it down and like looking good on stream here. So I think that it's going to be linen shirts and casual button-down Oxford shirts. Because honestly, I am starting to find shirts like that more comfortable than a t-shirt. Especially since like everything is polyester these days. Ugh. I'm more and more starting to realize how negative polyester is. On the YouTube side, life doesn't care as much as long as you did good, especially these days. The internet, we are evil on here. We need forced professional perfection. We need to see fancy. I think at some point it's going to change. I don't know. The thing is, remember that when TikTok first came around, that one of the reasons I think that people liked TikTok was because it was like so low effort. They felt like that the videos that they were seeing were from genuine people. Whereas on Instagram, everything was so curated and required so much perfection. People felt like that they couldn't post and nobody believed what they were seeing. They saw somebody, they were good looking, nobody believed that they were actually that good looking. That sort of a thing, right? Are girls more likely to admire? Yeah. Absolutely. But I don't think that any of the girls in my building are looking per se, but they definitely notice in a different way, I think. I wear nylon shirts. I'm a little nylon, okay. If there's some nylon in it, maybe. But I really want pure cotton or linen. I really like linen. Linen, I tell you what, linen is the softest of the common materials. I mean, there are things that are softer, but linen is softer than cotton, and it has better temperature regulating properties, especially in terms of keeping you cool. So I just like get on this thing again, which I don't really feel like I really have the peer reviewed research behind me, but it does seem to be a thing. And the latest piece of evidence that I saw in favor of this is basically the idea that men in particular are too warm. Essentially, you keep yourself warm, and then you're sitting all day, and you're basically cooking your balls. There's no way of like softening it. I know it sounds hilarious, but I'm being dead serious here. You're cooking your balls all day. And so there was this guy on a subreddit. Of course, it's just an anecdotal story, right? But this guy says that he iced his balls 3 times a day. So he'd always put it over, an ice pack over his pants, right? And he did it 3 times a day, which who has the time to do that 3 times a day? Well, he worked from home. Apparently he did. He iced his balls 3 times a day. And in a year, his testosterone levels doubled. Can you believe that? So I suspect that, you know, because we know pretty definitively that male testosterone levels have been declining. I'm going to bet you that it's multiple factors. It's multiple factors. But I think that one of the most significant factors that affects almost everybody is that we wear polyester clothes that keep heat in, and then you sit most of the time. And so you're not cooling off enough, and then you don't produce as much testosterone. I'm serious. Brian Johnson, longevity guy, does that once a day. I was thinking because it's getting to the point now where my car does pretty good with the AC and everything, but you know, it can get hot in the car. And I'm like, maybe I should keep an ice pack. I can have one at home. I can have one at the office. You know, just keep it in the freezer, pull it out. Nobody's gonna see it. I'm just gonna take it back home with me, right? And then while I'm driving in the car, I can just have an ice pack sitting on my lap for the drive home. That would be. I would have to test my testosterone levels, and I don't know if I want to pay for that, but it would be an interesting experiment at the very least. But you know, I went through this long thing where I always was kind of unhappy with my shorts. I got a pair of shorts that were kind of a little bit more athletic shorts that kind of had a good stretch to it, and they were okay, but they weren't like they didn't give me like the maximum airflow. And then I got these shorts from Columbia or one of those kind of like hiking companies that they were a little bit shorter. They were like I think they were like an 8 or a 7-inch inseam. And that was so much more comfortable. And I couldn't find anything that was like that without those ones. And I felt like they were maybe too expensive for what I was getting. And then I went to the linen shorts, and the linen shorts are perfect. I'm sitting here like, why doesn't everybody wear linen shorts? Why isn't the default I'm lounging around, I want to be comfortable clothing is linen? I don't understand. Because it's expensive, I guess. But if people actually knew what they were doing, you would get linen shorts. Because I'm wearing linen shorts right now. Linen shorts are way more comfortable, man. They give you the maximum breeze. Now the underwear is maybe I wish I had linen underwear too. Then it'd be perfect, right? Every individual cell and cell type matters too. Yeah. If somebody was able now what I'm starting to see is performance stretch tech linen, which I'm a little bit suspicious of. I'm like, oh, okay, so you're splicing it with other stuff because pure linen is too expensive and people don't want to iron it. So you're putting polyester in it. That's what you do. And I kind of feel like that polyester is part of the problem. Like not only does it seem to me like polyester clothing does kind of trap in heat, even clothes that are claiming to be like really breathable, they're polyester. Oh, but I also think that the polyester creates microfibers that are bad for you too. So I really do think that you want just pure linen. And if I could go back to like when I graduated from high school, or maybe even when I was still in high school, I would just full wardrobe linen shirts. Yeah, you gotta iron them. You just do it once a week, spend an hour. It's fine. Do the ice bucket challenge. You know what? I wanted to do the ice bucket thing, but it's kind of gone out of style already. My understanding of the ice bucket thing is, yes, it does have health benefits, but it also has a downside, which is it basically ages you faster. I don't know. I probably should do stuff. I'm starting to get like puffiness around my eyes. I don't have as much, it used to be more blue dark circles under my eyes. I don't have that as much, but I do get this shadow from like the puffiness and stuff like that. So I should look at that. Doing the looks maxing. 40-year-old man. I don't know. Why did I start talking about linen? Oh yeah, because we were talking about the clothes. Yeah, so I wasn't expecting it, but there was like a sale from the place I was getting shirts at Charles Tierwit, so I got another set of shirts. So I got a set of shirts coming, which I actually really didn't like, because I kind of like, I have a list of stuff that I want to get that are not like, you know, I need them right now, but it's like, it would be nice to get this thing. I can afford them. But if I bought everything that I could afford when I could afford it, then I would just buy everything, and then there wouldn't be anything to buy anymore, and then that's boring. So I stretch it out. I have a list, and then each paycheck I'll go and I'll get one thing, right? And the one thing that I wanted to get was some was like a dip pen to get a more. I actually wanted in this last video. I actually kind of wanted to do some of the handwriting in that video for like the titles and things like that, but what I got right now doesn't look sharp enough. You need a dip pen to do it sharp enough. And I would probably need to practice like recording it and setting it up and everything else like that. Right? But that's what I was going to do with my next thing, and now, but I had to do the shirts, so I've already used this paychecks purchase. So next month. Yep, it's the time. It's 9:05, so it was time to get going. Okay, well, we made a little bit of progress. I got the website thing going. I didn't get, so I'll check one more time here. Did I get a new email over here? And it looks like no, I did not. And oh no, wait, here it is. I did get it. Confirm your subscription. Confirm. Link. And then it gives me the PDF. Yes. I should change the font on it. I don't like the font. Oh well. Now I want it in italic. I want everything to look italic. It's so funny. Okay, so it does work. So I can maybe switch it over. I'm going to give it a week. Well, you probably, so I changed it to change to a different email. So if you went back and did it again, maybe it would be better. But it was basically, it saw that it was probably what happened is it saw it was coming from a Gmail account, or thought it was coming from a Gmail account and blocked it. Instead of the email account that I have set up for speculatorsset.com that forwards to my Proton Mail. Yeah, but I don't know. They've got like, I've got a 14-day trial thing going on, and I don't, will it stop working after the 14 days? And then if I do have to pay, it's the same cost as everything else. It seems like every time that I find a mailing list manager like service like that, that they change it to you have to pay $50 a month, which is like silly, because I could write the whole system myself. I could do the whole system myself for free. Just, it would be a lot. And you'd have to use somebody to send the emails, which is, I forget who it is. But then you pay on a per email sent, which I never email. So this could save us $50. We'll see when the trial ends. But in the meantime, that means that I have solved all of the other things that were on my short list, except for tomorrow we should release a new version of the indicators. And then I can focus more on, well, new videos, of course, and the trading platform. And I got a little bit further here today. I I did sort out some decisions and having some example code. I'm not exactly 100% sure how this should fit into my structure here, but I think yes, I get we could get really close to, you know, getting data and then displaying a chart. So see you guys tomorrow. In the meantime, stay